Merry Christmas! Ooh, dark. Let me turn the lights on here. That didn't really help. Okay, I'll just face away from the door. So this the beginning. Well, actually, it's kind of day 2, but the first day yesterday we didn't get much of anything. But this is supposed to be here for a while. So hopefully this is the last of winter for us. And we get nice warm weather after this. Oh, okay. So I just talked to my dealer and asked him about the wiring diagram. He's going to talk to head office and see what they got. And he says hopefully they don't just send me the one from the manual, because it's useless. It's so tiny, and online it's the same thing. And you blow it up to the point where you can actually see it and you can't read anything because it's all blurry, and it's horrible quality. So this new manual is awesome. So I got a whole bunch of parts that I want. I gotta wait. Beginning of April is when I'm gonna start. There are 2 reasons for that. One, April is a money month for me, extra money. So I'll have the funds to, buy stuff that I might need. And the other reason is I now have a flat tire. I've been waiting for it. I told you before, as the cords are showing, so it's a matter of time before the tube comes through, and that happened yesterday. So I'm driving on a flat tire and pushing through this snow. Yeah, really, really difficult to keep it straight line because it keeps trying to pull to the right with that. Flat tire's on the right, and when I try to turn left, it does not want to turn. So I can drive on it until the sidewalls rip apart, but my range is going to be really, really limited. So I decided, okay, it's time. So I got thinking, with my strobe light not working, I got wondering, with this wire hanging out here that I never did fix, rubbing on the tire, I'm just wondering if the connection got lost down there. I'm going to rewire it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to see if there's power to the actual strobe light before I put the new one in. Because if that one's still good, I might as well just keep using it. So, got that. So I haven't done much. Temperatures got cold. Like I said, we got 2 weeks of winter-ish weather. And hopefully, I couldn't see beyond that. So hopefully, once April gets here, the weather's going to warm up and stay warmed up. Doesn't have to be super warm, just no more snow. Maybe some nice temperatures so that I can come out here and work, if I'm able to. I still haven't determined that yet, but I'm going to start with the bumper, see what happens. Not like I have a choice, I got to do it myself, so I don't have a choice. So, hit the fortress out. I kind of mentioned before, when I was talking about my steering bar, I get a second short one, and I'm going to weld tabs on the side of the center tab that turns the steer, so I can put 2 short ones to get rid of that bottom one. I got thinking that's exactly the way the Fortress is set up. It's got 2 singles as well. This is independent suspension. This is the way the Monster should be. It's got 2 singles instead of 1 single, and then a whole bar straight across to attach the 2. So I mentioned that before, that they were independent suspension, superior to the Monster. Superior to the Monster's design. So that's kind of what I want to do. So just before this, we had another nuts. My hat's kind of, either my head's shrinking or my hat's getting bigger. It keeps sliding down on my face. It's all stretched out or something. Maybe the elastic's gone in it. But another major system brought tornadoes to the States. Thankfully, we didn't have a tornado threat with this one. We just got a lot of rain. And the last time I was up at the river, up at the soccer fields, it was at night, and the river was up pretty good. The deer was underwater, so hopefully it went up enough to wash it away and I won't have to see it. If it stays there long enough, once the weather warms up, it's going to start to stink too. So not only do I have to see it, I'll have to smell it. So hopefully it's gone now. And that will be that. But after that storm system went through, it got pretty windy here before the snow started. And I think it was the same night, actually. I went for a drive. And no, it was the daytime. I remember that now. I think it was daytime. And I was going down, I haven't watched the video yet, so I don't remember. I think it was daytime. I went down the school trail, and there's a tree that fell over on the trail. And I'm looking at it and says, yeah, I can drive over that. Yeah. So my left front tire refused to go over the tree branch, pushed it forward to the next one, and then when I finally got over it, my back wheels got stuck in between them. So I couldn't back up, I couldn't go forward. The tire was just spinning on them, so I couldn't get a run at it or anything. So I had to get off and move everything. Oh, that took a lot of effort. I could have just pushed the monster off, but I just said, no, I gotta move the tree. So it won't be in the way next time I come through. So I imagine it's probably cleaned up by now, but somebody would have done it. The snow's all melting now. So that was kind of interesting. I think that was the last time I was out before the snow. Next day I didn't go out at all. And yesterday I went out, I just did shopping. I didn't do much of anything. Yeah, because it was starting to snow now. And today, same thing, shopping. And I wore my batteries down pretty quick. I went to Independent, Tim Hortons, and probably halfway to the post office is already down to my second last bar. So that flat tire is creating some pretty good resistance in the snow. Limiting my range pretty good. So I guess that's it for that. I almost think there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Yes, one of them. If you remember, well, in my last video, there's a couple things that I said I don't want to talk about because I don't want to jinx or whatever. One of them was when I had to repair my steering. I couldn't figure out how everything came apart, and I cut the shaft off, drilled a hole through the bottom, and put a bolt through. Well, thanks to this new parts list, I can actually buy that part. It's got the C shape on the bottom, and it's got the shaft through it already. And that was one of the things I didn't want to say because, if I say something and I don't get to it, I feel bad for just kind of leaving you guys in suspense. So I was going to go up to one of the machine shops here and see if they could make me one. Well, it's on the parts list, so I don't need to do that now. Yay! It's amazing. It's got every single piece of the monster is on that diagram. And I'm not sure how many pages long it is, but it just, everything. There's like 3 or 4 just for the front end. There's a whole bunch for the back, different parts of the back. And I discovered that rear frame does come apart, and you can get the parts separately. So I'm just going to replace the part that's got the bolt stuck in it. Yay. So whoever it was that told me your dealer said that they don't bother, they just replace them, thank you. Because I probably never would have thought of that. So that's kind of cool. So I'll add that to my parts list. And the other thing, I started to say, I was going to say something, and I said, no, I don't want to jinx them. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't say anything, because I would have felt like I jinxed them, and I would have felt really bad. And what that was, I put text on the screen. I said, I'm going to talk about that in the next video, because I already knew that, the situation has changed. And that was with the fire department. We have been very quiet for very long. And I was talking to Cody sometime in February, and I told him, I said, we've had I think there was like a CO alarm and a couple of medical calls. That was it. Up until February, right? And remember, he's on the Hanover Fire Department now. He said they've already had 36 calls for the year. It's like, holy smoke, that's almost one every 2 days. That's insane. So we've been really, really quiet, and I didn't want to say anything, because I didn't want to jinx them. But what usually happens is we're quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden everything comes in at once. And there was a point, gotta be at least 2 weeks, there was nothing. At least 2 weeks. It might even been more than that. It was just dead silent. And a couple times there was a pager test or whatever, but it was to the point where I had to check my scanner to make sure it was still working. Because it was nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was a really nice period of quiet. But, like I said, everything comes at once, and boy did it ever. It was not a nice day. Everything on one day. I got woke up about 11 o'clock in the morning. It was a medical call for a 7-year-old girl, code 5. That doesn't sound good. I didn't know what code 5 was. I'd never heard it before. It didn't sound good. I got the impression it was, what's the word, deceased? So I called up Cody, and yeah, that's what it is. It's you know, basically means deceased, so well, that's not good. But there is hope, or there was hope, because she was taken to the hospital. They said she was loaded in the ambulance, and I heard the siren from the ambulance coming into town, so that's hope. I never hear results of medical calls, so I don't know the outcome. I don't know the situation at all, but that's not nice. So that was at 11. An hour later, they got a second call. This was the mild one for the day. It was a fire alarm at the employment center. She says, okay, that's not a problem. Routine. And it was quiet for a bit. And then around 5 p.m., the worst call of the day came in. Sorry. I'm getting emotional already. It was a call for a head-on crash and possible deceased. So they get there, and 2 of them were confirmed. Code 5 at the scene. Second time. Yeah, but they had to do some extrication and that to get people out. And one person was taken to the hospital, and according to the news, they died in the hospital. So all 3 people died. Nobody survived it. It was not nice. It wasn't nice to listen to. So, but to me, the worst part was afterward. After the police had their investigation done, I think it was like 5 hours later. It was 4 hours, because it was around 9 o'clock. The fire department got called back again, and they had to do more extrication to get out, the deceased party that was trapped in the car. But that's kind of not. So it was not a nice day for them. And I can't say it's been steady since. There's been several medical calls since, but that kind of ended the streak. Quiet streak, and I am so glad I didn't say anything, because I would have felt like I jinxed them, and I would have felt really bad. So that's why I avoided it. But hopefully that's it for the bad stuff for a while. For a while. Hopefully that's it for the bad stuff, period. But at least, So it wasn't nice. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. Talked about the monster. Talked about the weather. Talked about my outdoor experiences. I guess that's it. If I think of anything else, I'll make note of it and include it in my next update. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.